Hello, web workers. This is Tom Watts from Strategic Communications with another UXcited segment. Today, we'll be building a page in the new tool Layout Builder from scratch so you can see that process and how easy it is to make these custom layouts. So let's get started. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go to content as usual. So we'll go here. We're going to add content. We're going to use that basic page that you've seen displayed in other demos. We'll call this, let's just call this homepage demo web workers. All right, web workers. We're going to pick from these page layout options, which I know you've seen in the promo. For this one, we're going to go no sidebar. So it's just takes away the sidebar, keeps the body region if we need it. Also has the header and footer. So we're going to save that. So now we have this blank document. To start the process of creating a page, you have to enter the Layout Builder tool here. So now we're in Layout Builder. You can see we now have the option to add a section or import a section from the library, which we'll talk about in Make It Pretty. But we're going to add a section here. So for time's sake, because I don't want to have to make all these components for you guys over 25 minutes or something like that, we're going to skip here, and I'm going to show you on a page where I can drag those in. So let's just say we're going to try and create a page here. So let's go add section. And we're going to make a hero image. So we're actually going to copy, see this one here down here. We're going to copy that. So we're going to make a one column because it's a hero. We get our label here. We say homecoming hero. Because it's edge to edge, we're going to pick edge to edge. We want to fill the whole screen. And we don't want any spacing on top or the bottom of it because we're going to have a menu that we're going to add in a second underneath. So let's say we go with no space here. So we're going to remove space entirely, add that section. Cool. So now I'm just going to drag this in here so you don't have to sit and watch me make the component. And we've got our hero in that section. So we have homecoming hero, we've got our section. And now we're going to move on to make a menu for this. So we're going to say add section here. We want to use the priority links menu. So, our icon links that so many of you are familiar with. We have some kind of new innovations with that and Layout Builder. So let's say one column again. We're going to contain that content because we want our menu not to stretch the entire screen, but just a portion of the screen. So we'll contain that. And we're going to say we don't want any space on the outside of it because we want to actually overlap our hero. So we'll show you how that's done. As part of that, we're going to go to a section style. Oh, you know what? We have to go back because this is a special section. So let me do this again. We have our hero. We're going to add a section. And this is a priority links section. So here's the priority links. This is a special section. So we're going to call this our menu. And again, we'll go through this process. We want to contain it. We don't want any spacing. And we're going to add that section. Sorry, one last thing with that. It's the old version of that one. So we have our menu here, got our block. Because we're using that priority links menu and we want to do a new thing with it, we want to have it actually float up over the section above it. We're going to use this boxed offset that's specifically designed for this layout. So we're going to hit that. We're going to update that. What you'll see is that makes a box here that kind of floats above. And then we will drag so you don't have to watch me make these. I'm going to drag these focal links into the layout and get you a menu. Okay, we're going to delete this old one that was the placeholder. And we're going to say, so now we have our new menu here. So now we're going to add a section. I'm going to actually take you through a new component really quickly that we don't have in here, that I don't have saved off to the side like a baking show or something. So we're going to add a section here. We're going to use a one column layout because this component we're going to add is a full width component. We're going to call it intro And then here we're going to keep it contain content. And we're going to set, I do like to give this component, which is called alignable promo, some space. So I'm going to give it vertical margins of huge. I'd like to have some space around this one. So now we have this section. You see how we have space around it. I'm going to add a block, this new custom block here called alignable promo. We're going to add media to that. Where's our picture? This guy here. And this is a great component. It's really flexible. The only requirement on it is the actual title, but it has a bunch of different permutations. So we're going to show you the traditional use of this, but we've used it in a bunch of different ways on our site. So we're going to say homecoming 2023, and the second line is going to be Aggies week, and we'll give this a brief description. And we'll give this a button too. For now, we're going to just link it to our athletics page. Okay, I'm going to say schedule events. Here we're going to say, we'll just copy the same link for sake of time. Say for second button, Aggie. Okay. This component has a couple of options. You can align it left, center, or right. We're going to use left, and we're going to leave the branding color off. And I'll show you what this looks like, and we can modify it in a second. So here it is. This is we're going to save layout so you can actually see what it looks like in the layout. We have our header. We've got our menu that floats because we set that section up. And we have our alignable promo. So we have the 2-color intro title, and then we have our description, and we have 2 buttons here. So you can modify this. And now anytime you want to modify any of the components you've placed in Layout Builder, you need to be within the Layout Builder environment. So you click back in there with layout. And we're going to say, let's modify this to be a brand color for our title. So let's go in and configure. Or back to our menu here, and we can say we want to set a branding color on this of let's go Puda Creek. So what that does is it takes our title, and if it passes compliance for ADA, it's gonna show up in here. If it doesn't, you'll get the default blue color, and then it'll show up in the buttons. The brand color will show up in the buttons. But here, this one's passed contrast, so we've got that in our title and our buttons here. We can save that off. And now I've got that set up there. Here's another, so here's a section below here that we want to recreate. So again, I won't make all these components because we don't have enough time, but I'll show you how to make this background section here. So let's go in here and say layout again. We're going to add a new section. This is a 3-column. And it's going to be our feature section. And let's say we're going to go edge to edge to keep that color edge to edge. And we're going to add that section. All right, now we don't have a color or any of that set, and we want to contain these blocks. So let's go back into feature section, and we're going to say in the gutters, we want to add a contain content here. So we're going to add gutters so that the content has a little bit of spacing on the outsides. And then we want to add a background color. So let's go to the appearance tab here. And we're going to say we want it to be Wonder Blue. So let's add that. We're also going to remove the default background color from blocks, which takes, if you dragged any kind of block in there, it might have like a white background on it or something like that. We're going to remove that by hitting this here. And actually, let's give this a background image too. Why not? So let's go. We have a gun rock in here. Let's grab him. And we have him, and we can pick where he's going to show up. So we're going to put him on the right bottom, and we're going to say contain. So that means he's not going to repeat or stretch across the screen. He's just going to be sitting in this contained little area. And we'll put that in here. And now we've got him. You can see him hiding in that little corner. And for sake of time, actually, we're going to fix one last thing. We're going to show the header. So the header allows you to have a little introduction to your section, a little title area. So let's do that and update that. So now you see this block here, we have that's for our header. So we can put our header in there. We're going to drag these in because you guys don't want to watch me type anymore, I'm sure. So let's drag these in here. We've got our header and then these little text block things that I made. And all of a sudden we've got a pretty good little section going. Although our background's a little funky, so we may have to fix that. Let's delete this placeholder so you just don't have to look at that. And you can see, let's save that layout. Okay, so we got a background in there. We need a little spacing. It's pretty tight in here, so let's modify that. So let's go back into the layout. To your section. We're going to modify the spacing. One of the things that's nice about this tool is you can go back and fix it anytime you want. I mean, including if you've imported something into your page that doesn't look quite right, you can make changes to it. So we're going to change our spacing, interior spacing for that. So not the outside spacing, but the interior. So inside of the section, we're going to choose, let's go huge. And we'll give it some space. So now you can see the space we've added to the bottom and the top. And you know, I'm going to go back and then I'm going to change my image. I think I can tweak my image enough. Let's see. So we'll go back into our appearance. We've got our image there. Let's give him, let's put him here. Let's see if that makes it better. Oh, he's still kind of funky. So we'll just leave him there. But at least you know how to do it. So you can put in a background image. So let's save that layout, see what it looks like. We've got our guy there. We've got our intro header here, and we've got our components in here as marketing highlights, which you're familiar with. So we're going to do one more thing. We're going to recreate this section right here, which is another new component called link tiles that came from the UC Davis flagship site. So let's make that really fast. All right, so let's go back into layout. We're going to create another section below here. This one has 4 columns because we need all 4 for those link tiles. We're going to call it link tile section. And we're going to say a couple things here. So the way we get the link tiles to be right next to each other without anything in between them is to say remove gap between columns. So we don't have any gutter between each item in the columns. Are going to be flush together. So we're also going to create that as an edge to edge because we want to go all the way across. And vertical spacing we're going to remove because we want this to fit up next to the section above it. So we're going to say that, and we're going to add that section. Now we've got our section right there. And for sake of time, again, I'm just going to drag these in here. You have to watch me make these. They're really easy to make, these link tiles. It's a great new component, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. But let's delete the placeholder and see what this looks like. So say, so now we have our section here. And we have our section right up next to the section above it. So we've got our link tiles. You can see the component here. You get a title, an icon, and a little description on hover, which is kind of nice. And it's a nice little interaction for your site. So that's the basics of making a page. We're going to get into the real power of Layout Builder in Make It Pretty. So thanks for sitting through this, building this page with me in UXcited. Let's move on to Make It Pretty and show you how fast you can make something coming out of the library. So that's up next. Thanks again.